For many of us, we're getting tired of not meeting in person. And yet our situation with COVID-19 doesn't seem to get much better. But in the process, we here at Green Valley have been working with Tom Maddock concerning how to return back to worship. I'd like you to listen to Tom. He has prepared a statement for you, and we'll fill you in on where we are at concerning in-person worship. Let's listen.
Hi, my name is Tom Maddock, and like you, I'm worshiping from home this morning as I have for the past several months. When the COVID-19 virus began to take hold, including stay-at-home orders, we realized that there would need to be a very definite plan of how we would return to in-person worship. At the direction of our bishop and the COVID-19 response team in the annual conference, Pastor Jim asked me, along with 16 other leaders of the church, to develop a plan for reopening. We've worked diligently. We've looked at what preparations will be needed for our buildings to reopen them, what it would look like to have worship together in person, and how we would care for the youngest of our church family, our children, in Sunday school and child care. After many hours of work and many Zoom meetings, we came up with a plan, a good plan. It was submitted as required to the district superintendent, Dan Morley, and the COVID-19 response team for evaluation and approval. The good news is our plan was approved last week. Now that doesn't mean that we are able to return to in-person worship. We're a long way from that. Certain criteria need to be met, such as a decline in the number of COVID cases with positive tests, hospitalizations, and yes, unfortunately, the number of deaths being reported. We're not ready to be in worship together in person. But here's what you might expect. In the interim, Pastor Mary and the worship team are committed to providing you with outstanding online worship experiences. Karen Salzman has been preparing and caring for our children and reading nighttime stories to them. And as well, our youth have been meeting online. So we're staying connected. A group that we're very intentional about working with are those who don't have an internet connection. They need our special attention, and we're working on that. When we're able to return to in-person worship and other activities such as small group meetings and Bible studies and the like, it will not be as it was before the pandemic. For the safety of all, we'll need to gather in much smaller groups, smaller numbers. And when we worship, it will be in the fellowship hall rather than in the sanctuary. In the fellowship hall, we can make for spatial distancing from each other much easier than in the sanctuary, and we can better clean and sanitize all the surfaces, including the chairs, much easier than our comfortable church pews. If you need to, you'll be able to bring your own cushion for that seat. But you'll notice some other things as well. When you come, you'll be warmly greeted by our greeters as usual. There'll be no handshakes, though, and no hugs. It's just not safe yet. There will be no bulletins distributed, no hymnals, and everything that you will need will be up on the screen. You'll also find that we won't be singing our songs and our hymns. There'll be only special music provided for us. And we won't recite our rituals or say our prayers out loud. It's just too dangerous for those who are at increased health risk from exposure to the virus. It's been shown that even singing with a mask on can project particles from our mouths and noses much farther than that now familiar 6-foot distance. When you come into the space, you'll be greeted as well, asked if you have a mask, and if you don't, you'll need to put one on. You can use hand sanitizer, which will be provided for you, and a touchless thermometer will be used to check your temperature. We'll also ask a few screening questions about health. Are you feeling well? Have you been around people exposed to the virus? And those kind of questions. When you enter into the space, chairs will be set at least 6 feet apart, but there'll be special seating for families so that you'll be able to stay together during the worship experience. We want it to be safe for everyone to return to in-person worship as well as to small group activities. Now, I know this might sound rather restrictive and for some of you even unnecessary, but we want to care for everyone. Quite frankly, we're in uncharted waters, and we need to go slowly and protect the most vulnerable among us. So we're going to follow the guidance of our conference leadership. We're going to follow the guidance of the CDC and also meet all of our state and local requirements for gathering as a group. If you would like to read our plan, we can provide you with a copy. We'll email it to you, or we'll put it in an envelope and mail it to you if you do not have email capability. So please join me and join the others in leadership as we work through this plan, that we will do that which is right for the majority, and that we will care for one another, love one another, and serve one another by the ways in which we will come together once again for in-person worship and small group activities. God bless you.